Auburn basketball wins its inaugural ACC SEC Challenge, beating Virginia Tech by the score of 74-57 in Neville Arena. We're going to talk about it. Let's break it down. Your reactions, your comments, and of course, some stats too. All that coming up right here, right now. War Eagle Auburn family, War Eagle E2C Network family, thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay, whether you're watching here on YouTube, Facebook, any other place, any other time, however you got here, whenever you got here, wherever you got here, thank you for being here and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. It is the best little family within the Auburn family. This is a post-game reaction stream for the next few minutes, maybe up to about 30 minutes or so. We're going to just talk about what we witnessed. 57-74, the Tigers take down the Hokies in Neville Arena in Game 6 of the 2023-2024 campaign. At times, it seemed like it was going to be a little bit closer of a matchup. And then towards the end, the Tigers literally just put it to the Hokies. I could make Thanksgiving jokes, turkey jokes, Hokie jokes. I will try to refrain from that this evening. No promises, though. We want to hear from you, though, about this particular topic. Auburn beating Virginia Tech in this very first ACC SEC challenge. So don't be shy. Drop some comments. You can start off the show. Smash the like button. It is a huge help. It helps us be found by others. It helps people know the stream is live. It even helps people know that we're worthy of checking out if they haven't done so as well. So do that. And also, whether you're live, whether you're on the replay, post where you're watching from right now to get the chat started. City, state. If you're international, you can share where you are internationally as well with a War Eagle. And if we got any Hokie fans that want to join the conversation too, whatever y'all say, go Turkeys, go Hoks. I don't know. I feel like there's something weird out there that I don't know about them. We do have the phone line available for the Tiger tier of our Conquer Club people. If they want to call, if we see someone pop in the waiting room, we'll let them in and say hello to them too. But mostly, we're going to talk about your comments here. And there are a lot of people already celebrating in the chat before we even got started. Big Simp was just celebrating the heck out of this thing. Broom swept. See what he did there? The floor with them. The name is fitting. I know you wait to do this, but player of the game is Broom for sure. I mean, that's the problem sometimes with doing the question player of the game. Sometimes it's just obvious. When you put up a 30-piece by yourself on a team, you're going to be the player of the game. I mean, it would have had to have been like 5 straight tomahawk dunks by someone else for them to be the player of the game, which Chad Baker-Mazara really showed some stuff tonight. So even if he didn't finish a few of those dunks, he is one athletic beast. And I am so glad that we picked that guy up. He is probably my favorite pickup so far of the offseason. Cody says, smoke the Hokies. I feel like that's a joke there too. Smoke turkey, all that kind of stuff. What a weird name for a team. It just really, really is. I know you're most proud of Broom hitting his free throws. My goodness. Let's go ahead and look at that. We're going to talk about all the different angles of this tonight, but we'll look at Janai Broom's stat line tonight just to kind of get us started off. Again, 30 points, 11 for 19 from the field, 0 for 2 from the three-point arc. Can't be perfect, right? 8 for 13 from the free throw line, 13 total rebounds for a double-double. Only one personal foul in the night after some of the work he was having to do down there. That's pretty incredible, too. Only 2 turnovers in 26 minutes of play. And we said 13 rebounds. Just absolutely incredible. And I think I'm trying to pull up his other stats here as well. 3 blocks on the night, too. Just an incredible night for Janai Broom. I am proud of him as a big man for having a more favorable free throw stat, but 8 for 13 is still a little bit under the rate, under where I would like for him to be, and any player to be. It's not just Janai, it's not just the position. But when you put up 30 points, I'm going to be a little bit lenient on that. WT free throws 24 23. Auburn steals 11-5, turnovers 28-8. You have to love that. Defense, and then the offense came along with it. When you couple that with, and I don't know which beat writer to credit it to, who said that the jungle appeared like it was in midseason form. that's just a bad recipe for the Hokie team. I got the feeling, though, that if we played Virginia Tech on their home court, I got to think Auburn had the talent, especially with some of their talent hurt, that we would still won, but boy, would it have been a squeaker of a win. I think this team's a little bit better than maybe they seemed out there. And maybe that's not just me trying to prop it up, because this is Auburn's best resume win as of this point. Well, you got St. Bonaventure, you got Notre Dame as well. It's just a good piece to your resume to have. Hokie bump the Hokies. What the? Michael, what are you doing? It's late. I don't mind Broome getting player of the game, but Donaldson showed me how good he is at point guard. Absolutely. So it's easy to get caught up in the hype of Aden Holloway, right? And this is a night where Aden Holloway, we'll look at his stat line tonight, 0 points. I thought he had scored at least 1 point. Aden Holloway has been one of the biggest stories of the season thus far for Auburn basketball, only 6 games in. No points tonight. Was really ineffective in terms of that stat. Still a great contributor. And then Trey steps up. So it just goes to show you that sometimes we focus a little bit too much attention on one particular player when we've got all these other great players too. And that's what you heard Damian Fishbag talk about tonight, the other commentators, how deep Auburn is. Their 10-man roster that they run through every game. Everybody sees time. It's just better than everybody else's overall. Now, does that mean that they're the best team on the court night in and night out? Hopefully. Doesn't mean that they're all playing as well. But yeah. It's just quality 10-man group right there. The spread was only 2.5. I don't make a habit of looking at the spreads for basketball all that much. I guess I need to. Not that I bet or anything like that, but it is interesting to see where the odds makers are putting that at. They got that one wrong. I think the odds makers still don't factor in enough Jordan-Hare for football and Neville Arena for basketball. And I'll say the same thing for women's basketball. I'll say the same thing for gymnastics. Those venues, they play well for the home team. I mean, I would say all of that give Auburn reason to fans to show up, aka their home court, and they'll do big things. WT, I am confident at point guard for Auburn this year. They are playing really well. And that's not necessarily, in my view, I don't look to say that Wendell last year wasn't a good point guard. I think maybe he wasn't playing how we really needed the point guard position to play in hindsight. But the complement, the talent of Aden and the complement and talent of Trey together seems to be working really, really well. And on a night where Aden didn't have a good night, Trey steps up. Super happy. And I love Trey Donaldson. He's one of my favorite players on the team. And if I had to play favorites, y'all know Jalen Williams is my boy. It's probably Trey after that, and then Chad Baker Mazzara. I love Janai. I love KD. I love Dylan. But, I do, as we all do, tend to play favorites. And to me, that's going to be probably my top 3 right now. Jalen Williams is just the best all-around basketball player, in my opinion, in terms of a team player. I'm not saying like athlete, things like that. Trey, I think, has got some similarities there, and he's just very likable and can just get really hot really fast. And then Chad's just an athletic freak. Can we just talk about what Chad Baker Mazzara almost did? And you saw, if you were on social media, if you need to know, when people were referencing Chris Porter is one of the best Auburn basketball players of the modern era of ever. Go look up his dunk where he just literally came from out of nowhere. It was a rebound, tomahawked it in there. Chad Baker Mazzara knocks that down instead of ringing it out to Trey, which worked out anyway. That's how we drew it up. Whoa, boy. It's not just SEC, SportsCenter top 10. It's like everything top 10 forever. That thing would have we tweeted out, would have disintegrated the roof of Neville Arena. We would have been playing outside for the rest of the season. Glad we're not ranked yet. Stay hungry. I guess there is always a little bit of that to that. You feel like you're disrespected. You play a little tougher. If Auburn keeps playing like this against this pretty tough non-conference schedule, they'll be ranked soon enough. They're going to need to really put some good showings on the road. It'll be a good start in Boone, North Carolina against App State. Yeah, most people are probably dismissing that one. I wouldn't. That'll be a good solid win at App State. Starts making the vote makers go, okay. It's not just they're doing it at home, they're doing it at neutral sites. They really should have beat Baylor. This team needs to be ranked. Give it time. Give it time. As you always do. 141 tweet replies in 20 minutes. Not sure we have it going this season, maybe only certain games. Yeah, I think the meme culture, please keep it up if you want to. The meme culture, unfortunately, has just kind of sizzled to the normal, typical ones that do it, which is they're probably the best at it. So it's almost kind of better, right? Just let them have the hardcore stuff like that. I'm still love the meme thing, and we'll do some from time to time, but it's kind of like let the people who make that their bread and butter do it at this point, I guess. One of the announcers was requested to be assigned to an Auburn home game again because he was loving the crowd so much. Big contrast to a tennis match on the other side of the state. Yeah, a lot of that talk on social media. You might be able to seat more, but you can't even fill it up. It's just kind of comical sometimes. Jalen is also my favorite. Don't try to steal him from me. He is just outstanding. Good morning from Bari, Italy. Wow. And see, this is why we tell you to check in with us, because I want to know where you guys are viewing from. We got somebody from Italy. I don't know that we've had somebody watch from Italy. I know we've had England, we've had New Zealand, we've had South Africa, we've had Japan. I think this is the first that I know of or can remember from Italy. So that's awesome. Thanks for being here. David Bacon on Facebook. Strong win. ACC SEC challenge split 7-7. Is that official now? Like that's the end total of it. 7-7. Perfect start, I think, if that's your hope for it. I mean, I guess you want one conference to win over the other, but in terms of a competitive tournament or a competitive challenge, that's the result you want, right? Let's talk about the ACC SEC challenge concept in just a second, but we're focusing on Auburn right now. Michael, devil's advocate, Auburn must get better in free throw percentage. Absolutely agreed. 67% and 3-point shots were awful tonight. 13%. Glad to get the win. Listen, I think there's room for discussion about areas of improvement every single game. It was not a good shooting night for the Tigers. 39% from the field overall, 13 for Auburn. And Virginia Tech got better 3-point shooting throughout the game, but they were just as abysmal to start off the game. And it was the only thing that really started to go okay for them. It was pretty funny to watch. Y'all have heard me say it till I'm blue in the face. Free throws, 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 free throws. It's got to be your most important thing. They're free for a reason. SEC did terrible in the SEC ACC challenge, but we won the big games. The big games. Ark and Kentucky went to town. Yeah. Listen, I'm fine with the 7-7 split for the first year. Most people would have told you that the ACC should have ran away with this because it's, they're the power conference historically compared to the SEC. That's starting to shift a little bit. But yeah, it's, I think you could say they did terrible. I thought they did all right. UNC put up 100 piece on the best defensive team in the nation. Impressive. Yeah, I didn't expect many of these games to get close to 100 points, but they obviously did. They're a good team. Let's see what else here. Do you think if Harsin wasn't our coach at the time that Donaldson might have tried both sports? He was going to try both sports while Harsin was here. I don't know. I've seen one player, and I can't even remember his name. It was on an SEC team that played football and basketball, and actually, it worked. like meaning he contributed significantly to both. That's a hard thing to do. Every time I see a player say that they're going to do that, that's why they're coming to somewhere or to Auburn, I just roll my eyes. If you want to play football and baseball, sure, that's possible. Or you want to run track, we've seen that happen recently. Those two just don't coincide. I'm sorry, they just don't. So, all right, we can run through some stats if you'd like. Let me mention the ACC SEC challenge real quick. Do you guys like it? I know it's the inaugural year of it. Couple of differences. Obviously, we did this with the Big 12 previous years. So do you prefer the Big 12 matchups to the ACC matchups? It was it was in the middle of SEC play when we did that challenge with the Big 12. Now it's in non-conference play, as most people say it should be. Frankly, I loved the fact that it was in the middle of conference play when the Big 12 SEC challenge was, because it was kind of like a nice break in the middle of all that and kind of got you rethinking about March Madness coming up and the matchups coming there. Thoughts, opinions about that? Anything about that? Bueller. Love it. I think it's a great first year for it, but time will tell if the SEC, ACC, either or will remain competitive with the other. 7-7 to me is not bad. Danny Ainge was the only player I saw play basketball in another sport. He played baseball for the Blue Jays, but of course excelled with the Boston Celtics. Yeah, that's another hard one too, especially in college. You don't see it happen all that much. So fan of the challenge so far. And we'll see if it continues into a few years. So what we typically do here on the post-game streams, obviously go off your commentary. You want to kind of talk about some stats. We have already talked about Janai. That's probably the big thing tonight to talk about. We've mentioned probably the surprise of the night, Aiden Holloway, starting point guard, 0 points in the night. So your top scorers are Janai Bream, 30, Trey Donaldson with 9, and then I'm doing this awkwardly, Chad Baker-Mazara with 15 as your second leading scorer tonight. Chad apparently had his mother in town tonight. He got banged up on his shooting hand, which is his left hand. He's a southpaw. So even despite all that, he had a lot of motivation and showed out in a big way tonight. He is always a very energetic and athletic player, but I felt like he played with a different energy tonight, given his significance of his family being there for him. So happy to see that he's part of the top scorers tonight. And we already talked about how valuable Trey is to this team in whatever capacity, whether he starts, whether he comes off the bench as the point guard. He is a very good player. It's very late, as you can tell, I'm yelling. Other scorers tonight, Denver Jones with 8, Katie Johnson with 2, Jalen Williams with only 3 tonight, and Chaney Johnson with 3, Dylan Cardwell with 2. We got the walk-ons off the bench and on to the court, which I think is a significant and successful night always. Katie did have his personal foul, technical foul, which I guess technically gave him 6 fouls, which is weird when you see the stat line because you can only have 5, but it's listed as 6 because he fouled out, had the technical foul. I wonder if like that should carry over to the next time or something like that. There should be like a suspension or something like that. Not a suspension, but have to sit out. I doubt it, but it feels like that if you foul out but still commit a technical foul, that should be against you or something like that. I don't know. Would love to have a challenge with both conferences. Well, I mean, if you go to the tournament, chances are higher that you'll see both conferences at some point if you're successful. So in a way, you can have a challenge with both conferences. Yeah, it would be cool to see like the Power 6, ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and the Big East, because they exist in this sport. Kind of you make sure you do one of each every single year, like that challenge, would be pretty cool, but probably not doable from a scheduling standpoint. Most points for his career tonight. He broke 1,000 points. That was a good thing to bring up as well. I feel like I'm missing a couple of storylines from this evening that were mentioned by the broadcast team or by people on social media, but it feels like we hit the most of them. Didn't it? It really feels like we did. Let's see. Looking at some of the team statistics that we haven't talked about, we talked about shooting on all accounts. Turnovers tonight, one of the other big areas that we focus on here at E2C Network. 21 turnovers for Virginia Tech, 8 for Auburn. That tells the tale of the tape right there. We always look for the stat that tells the tale. 21 turnovers, 8 for Auburn. Doesn't get much easier for a home team when you give up 21 turnovers. And then the points off are incredible. Virginia Tech does win the rebound battle. It was kind of back and forth all night, 44-40. And bench points pretty even. Points in the paint simply from Janai Baroum was incredible, 42 for Auburn. To their 14. Fast break was in Auburn's favor, 13-3. Blocks 7-2 in Auburn's favor. Steals 11-5 in Auburn's favor. Assists 12-7 Auburn's favor. And then they were only tied for 53 seconds. Absolutely. At times, it looked like Auburn was going to let this team hang around and get into some trouble, especially as we ended the first half. But then they just clamped down. So there must have been a really great speech at halftime about this team not finishing in the second half. And that was a point of emphasis after the last game for Coach Pearl about this team not being a second half team. Can't say that tonight. I think if I'm Coach Pearl, based on what I understood he was saying after last game, I'm pleased with that critique that he had of his team. Elated about what Coach Pearl's created in Auburn's home court. I remember the Coleman Coliseum when you hear Coach Smith and Coach Eagles calling plays from the bench. No one came to the watch. You could watch those. Blake, what's up, buddy? But can you say free throws one more time, please? Free throws. Free throws. I'm trying to like clap all around it so it doesn't like bust people's ears out. Free throws. Make your dang free throws. It's my one critique tonight. Just make your free throws, especially at home. I mean, you've literally seen games won and lost with this type of stuff. Arkansas rushed the court beating Duke. Oh, poverty programs. That's cute. No, look, I'm happy that we got some big wins in the ACC SEC challenge, but I'm not going to get all excited about Arkansas and Kentucky winning. We did our part. That's all that matters, right? Kevlar. Love that Janai put up 30. Fun to watch. Janai came back for a season to really solidify himself in the NBA draft process. And I think he made one of the wisest choices that I've seen a player make in quite some time. And he's seen the benefits pay off early. He's had a great start to the year, and this will be one of those games that draft people look at, that prognosticators look at and say that 30-point win against Virginia Tech, an ACC team where he just cleaned up the glass, had only 2 personal fouls on the night. What more could you ask for? Amen. We did not play evil. What? We did not play good. We just have that. We just have that much depth. And Broom went off. Not understanding what you're saying here. Are you an Auburn fan or are you a Virginia Tech fan? Did not play good. We did not play good play. We did play pretty decently. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there if you're an Auburn fan. If you're a Virginia Tech fan, they definitely didn't play all that well tonight. Not a good first showing for them in the ACC SEC Challenge. All right, we're sitting at about 25 minutes. Got time for a few more comments and questions. Please do hit them in the comment section right now and let me know anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to discuss tonight on the stream. And we'll even maybe talk a little bit about on the back end here, the next game coming up. Reminders for you: our next scheduled is the key word there. Always be subscribed, follow on social media, for you never know when content's going to come out. But scheduled live stream will be a post game against App State. Talk about them in a second. This Sunday, games at 1 Eastern, so it'll be right 3-ish, 3:15-ish, right after that. And then we'll have our Sunday night scheduled stream that's always the same, 9 Eastern time, the Auburn Experience podcast. In fact, Kyle, you have the cue cards ready. This is how much I've been out of practice of late. So there's your post-game stream. Expect to see that put up early for you guys on the 3rd. And the Auburn Experience podcast, episode 58, live recording. Join us for that. Don't miss that. That's a lot of fun. Check out links in the description here on YouTube, especially, so you can help support us here. You can do that by smashing the like button, especially. Look, it did it. Boom. Sometimes it does it. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, all of those things are much appreciated. Country Cutie, I'm on my way home from the game tonight. Energy Neville was crazy. Always love to hear from people that were there live. So thank you so much for letting us know what that was like. It seemed like it was absolutely fantastic. Really, really good there. You're saying this Auburn team should be ranked. I think they will be ranked if they continue to play like this in non-conference. Blake, thank you for bringing that up. That's a point of conversation I forgot about. That if he hits that 3, it's his career high, which is saying a lot. It's a great night for him. Yep. Kind of right there, like he was saying. Next 3 road games in a row, it's going to be tough. Going to be really, 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 really tough. Now, look, I know the propensity is for everybody to see App State and assume easy win, right? It's on the road. Auburn is becoming a program where it is, I don't want to say it's people's Super Bowl, but it's a big time win for them if they beat Auburn. That's the point that we have reached as a program, and which I'm very thankful for. So don't think that the App State folks don't have this game circled as a team that they feel like, given the right situation on the right night, can beat. They've made the tournament. I do think you're going to get a really good game from them. But if Auburn can go into Boone, North Carolina, and put up a very solid, convincing win against them, it's not that the committee looks at that and goes, wow, that's, the best thing on there. But it's going to give them the impression that this team can not only win at home, can win at neutral sites, but can go on the road and win these games. They come out of this road stretch with 3 wins. They'll be looking really, really good. Looked rested. Crowd was awesome. Yeah, I mean, certainly the crowd is, if you could give them a grade, you give them an A+ tonight. 8 days off is a concern either way, because you're like, will you be rusty or you be rested? They were clearly rested. The shots were a little rusty, but everything else was just pretty good. So we didn't even ask who's the player of the game. We all know it. Janai Broome, 30 points on the night. Double-double, almost a career high. Absolutely incredible. Hats off to Chad Baker-Mazara and Trey as well for really contributing statistically tonight. This was a fun basketball game to watch. This was a great way to start off the ACC SEC Challenge. Good win for your resume against an ACC opponent in Virginia Tech. And we now become Virginia Tech fans, hoping they will win the rest of the season a lot to make this win look a lot better. I know that doesn't help you, Virginia Tech fans, if you're tuning in, but know that we are rooting for you now at this point of the game. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this very late night stream. If you're on the replay, thanks for coming by. Please make sure you're subscribed and don't miss out for more post-game streams for basketball as we talk about these the rest of the season. You guys continue to be the best little family within the Auburn family, and I appreciate you so very much. Until I talk to you again, War Eagle.